12 o'clock versus 6 o'clock here. Snow in the bottom, Shine at the top.
Okay, so they are cross spawns. That's kind of interesting. Okay, I think it's Freakling from Germany.
All right.
So congrats and cheers. That's the guy who made the Team Liquid thread about it. Wonderful technology nowadays. Look that up on your phone and the time it takes to start the map up. Okay. I mean, some things about the map, right? First off, you have very big main bases. And you're on the low ground. You have to go up, as you see Snow doing here, into your natural. You do have a choke, so it's not that hard to wall off. You've got the bones there. Bones generally always make kind of tight walls.
Yeah, that little doodad.
Yeah. And on that little, that high ground that goes around half of your main, there is another base that's a mineral base.
Right.
And there's a 4-player map, so there's 4 spots like this in rotationally symmetric spots. And then you also have corner bases over short bridges, or not. They're like medium length, but they're thin bridges.
Yeah.
Like River Styx bridges.
Oh, God,
and
I almost forgot about
those
that
have
map.
gases. So that's the map in a nutshell.
So we have some scouting here. If you notice the pattern for the probe actually checks to see if the Overlord came from the center right and sees it's not and says, okay, let me go check the left. And he basically knows 100% now that Shine is over at the 12 o'clock spot. Sometimes I wonder if Zerg's ever going to mix up the Overlord scouting, just if they weren't going to do something like a 4-pool. Just in case you wouldn't look in that spot necessarily.
Yeah, sometimes Zergs do, I think, but you scout in a certain direction because it is superior overall. Looks like a Forge Expand coming up here from Snow. Shine going to be able to take his hatchery without too much problems.
So since Zerg goes pool first, cannon rushes are pretty much out of the question. And this is going to be one of these builds where Snow has halted probes and is going to get Nexus shortly here. He does need to get 1 cannon up as well. It sounds weird, but just to put it in theory-wise, you would want to have as little cannons as possible and get away with it.
Yeah.
Cannon is the same price as a gateway, and you're slowing down your development. But the thing is, Zergs are so good nowadays at just getting in there and doing some damage right away. So sometimes these Protosses get greedy and then get punted right out of the game.
Excuse me. I wonder what Snow's actual problem is in the matchup. Because we've been talking a lot about how hard a time he's had in PvZ since returning to the pro scene from the military. He literally has not won one map in a pro tournament in Protoss vs. Zerg.
So crazy.
Yet he has gotten runner-up in ASL. He's just a phenom in PvT and PvP. He's amazing at both matchups.
Sure, yeah.
So I wonder what it is exactly about PvZ that just gets his goat so hard.
I do, at least in theory, I'd say that it seems like in StarCraft occasionally you have players that are really good in one direction of the matchup and not good at the other.
Yeah.
In PvZ, you do have to be the initiator. You do have to be the one applying pressure, the one leaning on the Zerg, where the Zerg is basically staying back unless they do something really crazy and aggressive. They are staying back and trying to develop and just outgrow you. Kind of win with an economic checkmate. And I think Snow, for instance, Protoss versus Terran, Protoss is the one that's trying to outgrow the Terran, right? And I think Snow is very comfortable with that. But a lot of times you have somebody who's very good at that but has a harder time in the reversal where they have to put on the pressure, get in the other player's face. So let's wait and see what exactly happens here. Now, it's especially interesting because Shine is one of these Zergs who can get in there and do something just completely crazy.
Yeah.
Early on. And that's going to be scary for the Protosses. Protosses hate these Zergs, just like Terrans hate Protosses that, do a lot of DT rushes or proxies and stuff like that. It's kind of the same thing for Zerg, but it's just they tech really quickly. And you're afraid of, is it going to be a Hydra bust? Is he going to go, for some kind of weird drop that I don't expect? There's so much that can go on.
Yeah, and definitely a map where we could see things like that. Like, to get back into your main base, which, again, is very large, if they were to do something like a drop, it will take a while if you're out on the map at all.
Right.
But seeing here from Shine, everything looks very standard thus far. Going for 3 hatcheries on 3 different bases, into a lair, grabbing that Spire. Generally, it's just for a few Scourge. And probably we'll just see some extra hatches, go up to 5 or 6 hatches and Hydras after that.
Okay, so Ling speeds out. Now what he wants to do is get rid of any probes. He actually just got it. I'm sorry. The observer was showing us that there's 1 kill there. And now Shine's going to go for a Spire. Now, I do want to check and see, is he just going to make a few Scourge? Is he going to do anything weird, like go Mutas? There is one cheese you can do where you get 1 to 2 sets of Scourge and fly in there with Scourge and Muta, kill off the Corsair, kill the cannon if there is one in the main, and then just end the game. But it could just be Shine going for a standard game.
Yeah, I think it is going to be standard. You know, he didn't take a second gas as of yet. He just took it like this second. So his gas bank isn't that big. He could make like 3 Mutas in a set of Scourge, or, you know, it's not really enough, I think, to do that. So, you know, it looks like he's adding some extra hatches now. Should have some Scourge on the way as the Corsair comes out to scout.
You got to be careful, especially when you're scouting in spots this far apart, because you can get hit by Scourge.
Yeah.
There's just so many ways to set up traps. A good Protoss can usually move around the Scourge, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. We'll see. You know, one of the things is that because you have to do everything manually in StarCraft 1, like making all your probes and making sure they're mining, sometimes you'll go back and do that, and then you can lose that Corsair. But
yeah.
I think Snow's going to be very careful about that here.
Yeah, he's brought it home already now, so does not want to be losing that. Oh, it is just a few Mutas.
Yeah,
look at that. Makes 4 Mutas, 2 Scourge. So maybe it's 5 now.
Yeah,
but.
so he's going to do the cheese. Now there's a second cannon making, and I think Snow might have snipped this out. But if this works, suddenly Protoss loses control of the game, and it's really scary. So he wants to have these. Okay, now he's coming in here now. Now I'm sorry, the Scourge are actually right over the Mutas. What you want to do, okay, I think this is going to work. You want to actually hotkey the cannons and click down on the Scourge when this comes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good tip right there. Now, the Mutas do get forced back for a moment here, but a couple of those Corsairs went down.
Yeah.
You know, this is such an interesting thing that we've been watching for the last, I don't know, month or two, where in the Korean scene, a lot of Zergs are opening Mutas against Protoss. Some of them for the long term, but sometimes just littler moves like this. But it's really gained a lot of popularity lately.
It's funny because Mutas can beat Corsairs. In theory, they shouldn't, but if you're really good at controlling them, and if you keep the Corsair count down very low, it absolutely can work. So he went for Corsair DT, which I think can be a good idea if you see the Muta play. Just because, you know, they're going to be oftentimes preoccupied with their Mutas on the map. And from here, it's going to be a tech up. Now, I think that Snow is actually going to try to push out here because he made an Archon instead of getting Storm. And unfortunately, I think this is what Shine wanted him to do because Shine didn't commit to all Mutas, which I don't blame Snow for doing this. Snow's in the dark, but this means the Hydra push should kill Snow.
Yeah, you definitely need Psystorm for this. So this is, like, he's already got his +1 and stuff, but with this 5-hatch Hydra just rallying in, if this was only Mutas, he'd be in good shape, but unfortunately for him, it's not. The Hydras come up, and that should be it. That should be GG.
Shine is a sneaky player, and he did it again.
Yeah.
This might look very basic, but you have to remember that Snow was hiding from Mutas with those Corsairs after that attack, and so he thought there was maybe going to be 1 to 2 control groups more with a lot of Scourge trying to close it. Instead, it's the Hydras. And, you know, probes and cannons warping in are so flimsy, and Hydras are so robust and deal damage so quickly. This game's just going to end.
Yeah, that is just about that. The probes come out and try to surround everything. A speed overlord coming in to make sure DTs can't save Snow. And in fact, the DTs just now pop out. So as Snow sees that overlord, he knows that the game is over.
GG, game 1 is done.